You're watching NSPN.TV, the Neighborhood Sports Network. Coverage is made possible by your local McDonald's owners and operators, offering competitive wages, paid time off, and tuition assistance. And by the Star Tribune, your home for the best prep coverage. Welcome to the neighborhood.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Wayzata High School, home of Trojan basketball. Tonight's non-conference girls basketball game features our guests, the Raiders from Roseville area high schools, and your Wayzata Trojans. At this time, we ask that you all please rise if you are able, remove your hats, and face the American flag at the south end of the gym as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the players for tonight's game. In alternating fashion, beginning with the visitors for Roseville area. Forward, a 5'7" freshman, number 1, Kiana McGriff. For Wayzata, at guard, a 6'1" sophomore, number 3, Lauren Gay. For the Raiders, at guard, a 5'3" junior, number 11, Mirabelle Jackson. For the Trojans, at forward, a 6' senior, number 11, Allie Burns. For Roseville area, at guard, a 5'5" sophomore, number 21, Analea Salamura.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome here to Wayzata High School. Hogan Greenwood alongside Steve Bonsack. We're getting you set for some girls basketball non-conference action here on NSPN. Wayzata welcoming in the Roseville Raiders. The Trojans come in with a record of 5-2 on the season. They are number 5 in the 4A rankings this week. And the Trojans are averaging 76.7 points per game, coming off of a win against St. Paul Como Park, 84-49. Sophie Hawkinson continues her fantastic senior season. 3 out of the last 4 games, she scored 20 points or more, coming off of a career high 27 points in the win against St. Paul Como Park. Hawkinson averaging 19.4 points per game. Meanwhile, for Roseville, the Raiders are 5-4 on the season, 3-2 in the Suburban East Conference, 56.4 points per game. And the player to keep an eye on tonight is Maddie Sundberg, just a shade under 15 points per game at 14.6. She's also averaging 4.5 rebounds per game.
with an overall record of 5 wins and 2 losses.
Head coach for Roseville is James Henderson, and for Wayzata in her 4th year, it's Julie Stewart. Starters have been announced. Let's get them to you now. For Roseville, Kiana McGriff, the freshman, in the starting lineup alongside Mira Jackson, Analea Salanoa, Elena Marinaro, and Maddie Sundberg. For the Trojans, it's Marin Day, Allie Burns, Sophie Hawkinson, Annika Kieser, and Katie Kelsenberg. Julie Stewart has found a good rotation, at least for the starters. She likes to play about 8, 9, maybe even 10 deep, depending on how the game goes. And Wayzata on the year, their 2 losses have come to the same opponent in Maple Grove, who is the number 2 ranked team in the state. Meanwhile, for Roseville, they're coming off a victory against Mounds View, 42-36. Wayzata in the home blue, Roseville in the road white, and the Trojans win the opening tap right to Allie Burns. She missed in tight, and this one's going to go out of bounds off a leg of Roseville. It'll stay with the Trojans underneath. So Wayzata, a team that likes to play fast. After made baskets, if you haven't seen them play, they like to bring the full court pressure, and a great inbound. Annika Kieser got a good look but missed it. And the rebound down to Elena Marinaro. A couple of the Roseville Raiders averaging in double figures as well. The freshman Kiana McGriff averaging 11.1 points per game. Mira Jackson at 11.5 points per game. That was McGriff, nearly threw it away. Hawkinson last to touch it. 16 to work for the Raiders underneath. These two teams met last year for the first time since 2018-19 season as the Raiders throw it away. Allie Burns up ahead to Hawkinson, and she'll glide in for 2. Sophie Hawkinson continues to excel in her senior season. Coming off a soccer state championship as well in the fall season. Great break of the press there by Roseville, and they get an open look. Elena Marinaro answers on the other end. But last year, these two teams met 58-56. Wayzata narrowing Roseville with the win, renewing the rivalry for the first time since 2018. The last 4 wins between these two teams have been to Wayzata as Annika Kieser sticks a triple. And here comes some of that full court pressure once again. Going to get a whistle and a foul at mid-court. That is the one thing that Wayzata tends to get in trouble with, if at all. It is foul trouble with that full court pressure along with the stifling half-court defense. First on Allie Burns. Sundberg will trigger in, and she'll set up the offense up top. Working on Katie Kelsenberg. That's knocked out of bounds by Hawkinson. This Roseville team, pretty similar to last year. However, they do have one key loss, and that was Kendall Barnes, who was an outstanding player, averaged over 20 points per game. So Roseville navigating the season through the first 9 games, just 1 game above 500 without Barnes. Here's a deep 3 from Sundberg, and she drills it. Maddie Sundberg, we talked about her averaging just over 14.5 points per game. She's been great for Roseville. And we're going to get Hawkinson on a blocking foul. She draws it on the Raiders. James Henderson, head coach for Roseville, wanting a travel before the foul, but it'll be the first on the Raiders. It's going to go on Mira Jackson. Good passing out for Marin Day. She got a good look from 3. Second chance opportunity on the O rebound. Hawkinson will try a deep 3. That's off the back of the rim. Kelsenberg skies for the board. Had it knocked away. It'll stay with the Trojans underneath. 18 to shoot on a fresh shot clock. Kelsenberg feeding the post. Allie Burns able to gather and go up strong for 2. Allie Burns averaging just under 10 points per game at 9.7. Coming off a 10-point performance at St. Paul Como Park. Burns is the one knocking it out here on the near sideline. Much larger role this year for Allie Burns from her junior to senior season. And she's been spectacular so far to start for Julie Stewart's squad. McGriff throws it away as Wayzata comes away with another takeaway. It's Hawkinson back up top, finding the open player. It's Keyser. She'll feed it down low. Good ball movement. Hawkinson rattles out a 3. Offensive rebound, Marin Day, and she got it tied up as Elena Marinaro got her hands in there. Possession arrow gives it to the Raiders. (7-5) Wayzata in front. Opening minutes here from Wayzata High School as Allie Burns will be replaced by Kaya Nash, who's been outstanding so far this year, 6.7 points per game off the bench for the Trojans, knocked away by Marin Day. Kaya Nash in her first year on varsity as a sophomore. Can knock down the triple. Very active defensively as well. That was McGriff navigating through the Wayzata press. Roseville gets an open 3, and they knock it down. It's Mira Jackson from deep, and the Roseville Raiders lead 8-7. Wayzata going right back the other way after a made bucket. Annika Keyser gets the whistle, and Keyser will be at the line.
Roseville's number 23, Elena Marinaro, her first, team second.
Marinaro picks up her first. And Keyser knocks down the first free throw. She's averaging 7.9 points per game as a sophomore. Was outstanding last year as a freshman. Stepping into a much larger role this year. And goes 2 for 2 from the line. Mira Jackson lost the handle on the baseline, turning it over back to Wayzata. Very important stretch for the Trojans as we approach the holiday of Christmas and New Year's. Some big non-conference matchups before they hit the heart of conference play. And as you know, the Lake Conference is so good in girls high school basketball here in Minnesota. Hopkins, the top team. Minnetonka ranked number 4. Eden Prairie ranked number 3. And St. Michael Alphaville in the top 10 as well. So very big games, trying to get as many wins as possible, with their only losses coming to Maple Grove twice. Ellie Howard into the ballgame for the first time tonight. Up top with the basketball, number 33 in blue. Burns back in as well. Got it to Howard. Some good half-court set defensively for Roseville. Shot clock winding down. Hawkins going to have to create. She gets in the lane, and she scores the bucket. Late shot clock magic for Sophie Hawkinson, and Wayzata is back up by 3. And a takeaway. Burns leading the break. Pass was behind Hawkinson. And Sophie will set it up top. Pick and roll. Howard looking down low. It's Burns. Left it a little bit short. Rebound down to Analea Salanoa. And for the first time tonight, number 12, Molly Jackson, averaging 4 points per game off the bench. And that's Kiana McGriff off the bounce and off the window for 2. Freshman averaging 11 points per game and 7.4 rebounds per game. Kiana McGriff. Back to a 1-point ball game. Inside. Ellie Howard got a good look, could not convert. And the rebound down to the Raiders. Sundberg falling away off the front of the rim. Hawkinson looking to run. Hawkinson, the blow by. Got it up on the rim, but could not get it to go. And back comes McGriff. And Kaya Nash will pick up the foul, reaching in.
Fouls on Wayzata's number 14, Kaya Nash. Now in for the Trojans, number 13, Ella Goodnature.
Number 13, Ella Goodnature, in for the first time tonight. Kelsenberg returns as Burns and Day will sit. 12:40 to go in this opening half. Wayzata leading 11-10. This is a Roseville team coming off a state tournament appearance a couple of years ago, losing in the quarterfinals to Hopkins. They got some young talent on this squad. And here is McGriff off the bounce, and she goes right to that left hand again. Second basket of the night for McGriff. And the Raiders go back in front. Howard on the slip to Kelsenberg. Through the contact, got it on the basket. Could not finish. Second chance for Goodnature. Kelsenberg on the floor, and they're going to get a foul on the Raiders going for the loose ball. Sundberg picks up her first. Keyser returns for the Trojans, and in for the first time tonight, number 22, Mallory Macbeth, who's been really solid off the bench for Julie Stewart. Younger sister of Wyatt Macbeth to stand up for the boys basketball team, and Kelsenberg goes right to the basket and gets the foul. 8.4 points per game for Katie Kelsenberg, coming off an 8-point performance against St. Paul Como Park. Kelsenberg in her second year on varsity. Two-sport athlete, a standout on the volleyball team, and a much improved free throw shooter. She's able to split a pair, and we're tied at 12. Keyser picks up her first. That's the third team foul. Slipping to the basket, McGriff. She'll throw it back out. Salanoa retrieves it. Sundberg with 10 on the shot clock. Gets a piece of the paint. Sundberg forces it up and banks it in.
That's 2 for Maddie Sundberg.
5 points on the night for Sundberg. Keyser on the drive. Picked up her dribble. Back out for Kelsenberg. Kaya Nash, step back three. Is good. That is the three-point stroke from the sophomore, Kaya Nash. She can knock it down. And Wayzata seesaws back in front. McGriff gets knocked to the floor. Fourth team foul now for the Trojans, and we'll see Hawkinson and Day return. Kaya Nash will sit after recording her first field goal of the night. Back on the floor, number 12, Molly Jackson for Roseville. In for the first time tonight, number 10, Lenora DeVries. Salanoa off the shot fake. Over for Molly Jackson on the drive, off the glass. Her first field goal of the night, 16-15. Back and forth we go. in the first part of this first half. Hawkinson got open off a screen. A little too strong on the triple. Second chance here on the offensive rebound. Marin Day on the drive. Threw it up on the glass. Could not get it to go. And rebound down to McGriff. McGriff looking to run. Dropped it off for Jackson. Now back out for DeVries. And she shuffled her feet before putting the ball on the deck. And it's going to be another Roseville turnover. Short stint for Mallory Macbeth as Allie Burns comes back onto the floor. Burns comes to get it. Marin Day getting position inside, and a nice move to her left hand to lay it in off the glass. (17-16), Wayzata back in front, approaching the midway point of this first half. Salanoa off the bounce. Handoff. McGriff will try from deep, and that's off the iron. Rebound tap to Molly Jackson. McGriff a little out of control. DeVries with the offensive board. Into the corner, Jackson. And we're going to get a whistle and a foul going for the rebound. And it looked to be a good box out down low, but Wayzata will pick it up. And it's going to be on Kelsenberg, and that's a big foul because that's her second. So she will have to go to the bench with 2 personals. And Kaya Nash right back onto the floor. Roseville will take a timeout. We'll step aside as well. Off and running here at Wayzata High School. 9:05 to go. It's 17-16 and a good one between Wayzata and Roseville.
Support your teams and community with NSPN.TV. Enjoy exclusive coverage from Summer Town Ball to high school championships. Plus, feature stories and podcasts that bring you closer to the action. Stay connected with NSPN.TV, your neighborhood sports network.
We are the Minnesota Star Tribune. We're not a paper, we're a fabric. One that can unite, incense, connect, frustrate, represent, and reflect all of us. The Minnesota Star Tribune, the heart and voice.
Back here at Wayzata High School out of the timeout. Roseville will trigger in. Hogan Greenwood, Steve Bonsack with you. Wayzata a narrow lead, 17-16, with 9 minutes remaining in this first half. Sundberg off the bounce. Shot clock under 10. Backdoor cut. That was Marinaro. Third chance on the glass, and it's Sundberg cleaning it up. Wayzata looking to push off the made basket, and it's Annika Kieser answering on the other end. James Henderson, head coach for the Raiders, can't be happy with that. Wayzata loves to run if they can, even after a made bucket. And he showed it just on that last possession. Here's the freshman McGriff off the bounce, working on Kieser. Going to the left hand again. Kiana McGriff. A great start to the half. She's up to 6 points. Double team on Burns. She'll fall away. That one rolls off the rim. Tap back out. Taken by Salanoa. Outlet pass for Molly Jackson, and she'll back it out to Sundberg. Going to get another nickel dimer out on the perimeter. It's going to go on Kaya Nash. And that's the 6th team foul now on Wayzata. So the next foul and subsequent fouls will be free throws for Roseville, whether it's a 1-1 or 2 shots. Officials just checking with the scores table, making sure everything's all sorted out. We're good to go. Roseville 20-19. Wayzata into a 2-3 zone. Sundberg will shoot over the top, and that's knocked down by Maddie Sundberg. And Roseville has its largest lead of the half at 23-19. Kai Nash turns it over. Timeout, Trojans. Julie Stewart having to navigate this first half with Wayzata not playing its cleanest. They're down 4 with 7:24 to go. We'll step out.
Hi everyone, my name is Dennis Muga. I've been with McDonald's for 6 years. So as a full-time student in college, I was able to join McDonald's because of the flexible schedules and also opportunities, which includes the archways. Through archways, I was able to graduate from college debt-free, and also it helped me grow as a person. I really enjoyed the environment. That's why I applied at McDonald's.
Out of the Trojan timeout, Roseville by 4 over the number 5 ranked Wayzata Trojans at 5-2. Roseville looked good here on the road against the number 5 ranked team. Good defensive play there as number 10 Lindsay Harvey is into the ball game. It'll stay on this end with 18 to shoot. Here's McGriff, baseline drive, and that pass is airmailed over the head of Salanoa, and a turnover for the Raiders. The 5 on the floor for Wayzata: Hawkinson, Day, Harvey, Burns, and Keyser, with under 7 minutes to go in this first half. Wayzata's gotten some good looks. They feed it down low to Burns, and she will go to the free throw line. Wayzata does have the size advantage as well, but Kelsenberg's on the bench right now with 2 personals. And now Marinaro picked up her second. One for 2 from the stripe for Burns. Back to a 1-possession ball game. Sundberg picked up her dribble. Got it off for Molly Jackson. Wayzata has since gone back to man after Sundberg shooting over the top on that Trojan zone defense. Deep in the shot clock. And she flips it up and in. That's Elena Marinaro. Nifty bucket there, but Wayzata quickly answers again. In transition after a made bucket, it's Burns. Backdoor look for Salanoa. Had a tough time corralling it. She missed in tight. And here comes Hawkinson. Hawkinson a stop and pop 3. She's been a little cold to start from beyond the arc, but it's Burns a second chance. No. And the rebound taken by Sundberg as Marin Day hits the floor. Sundberg lets it fly. Short. Rebound down to Lindsay Harvey. And she had it pickpocketed from behind. McGriff finds the open shooter. Salanoa does not get the friendly roll. Second chance offensive rebound. Marinaro was blocked by Harvey. Hawkinson on the move. Stop and pop from 14. That's a little too strong. Marin Day offensive rebound, and she missed the putback. Maybe rushed it a little bit. And back comes Roseville. Sundberg spinning. Allie Burns getting her hand on the basketball, no call. And then this one's out of bounds. Last touch by Wayzata.
Number 13, Ella Goodnature. And returning for the Raiders, number 10, Lenora DeVries. Also returning for the Trojans, number 22, Mallory McBeth.
Ball out of play in front of the scorer's table off of Roseville. So another turnover for the Raiders. Hawkinson, great backdoor pass. Lindsay Harvey for two.
Good, Lindsay Harvey.
Macbeth and Goodnature back on the floor as well. Lenora DeVries returned for the Raiders. 4.5 to go in this first. A 1-point ball game. DeVries out of the corner. Good pressure there by Goodnature. They swing it. Salanoa back up for McGriff. That shot was blocked. Harvey active on the defensive end. Keys are on the run. Wayzata has numbers. Macbeth spots up. And the shot clock went off there on that Wayzata shot. It did not reset on the Wayzata fast break. And then even after the Wayzata shot attempt. So Wayzata will keep it underneath with a fresh 20. Hawkinson working on Salanoa. Spinning over the top and good. Good idea for Sophie Hawkinson. The three is not going down for her. Get inside and kiss it off the window. Wayzata reclaims the lead, 26-25. Sundberg got to the basket. Wayzata not rebounding well on the defensive end as another second chance opportunity for Roseville. They could not convert. Hawkinson on the crossover, knifing in and could not lay it in. Boy, she got all the way to the basket, and it's a turnover. Molly Jackson threw it right to Macbeth, and she'll glide in for two. Timeout, Roseville. James Henderson not happy with that turnover, and it'll be a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it here. 3:18 to go. Wayzata by 3. So we mentioned that Wayzata has won the last 4 meetings between these two schools, including the 2-point victory last year, 58-56. The last win for Roseville against Wayzata came back in the 2013-2014 season. It was on December 10th, 2013, so it's been quite some time for the Raiders. They're looking to pick off the number 5 ranked team on the road tonight. They had a great start. It's been back and forth, but it's Wayzata 28-25 with 3:18 to go in this first half. Annika Kieser's got 7 points so far for the Trojans. Kelsenberg picked up 2 early fouls. She's on the bench. And Julie Stewart's trying to find the right rotation. Lindsay Harvey off the bench has been very active, both ends of the floor, along with Mallory Macbeth. Here's McGriff off the bounce. And Salanoa threw it away. It was partially deflected. Well, two officials are conflicted here. One official saw it thrown away, no deflection. One official saw it as a deflection. I'm not quite sure there was a deflection. I don't have a decision. It'll be Roseville basketball here on the sideline. 15 on the shot clock to work. Out for Salanoa. She tees it up and hits from deep. We're tied at 28. Hawkinson gets a paint touch. Good nature baseline drive, and we're going to get a blocking foul on DeVries. And Roseville's over the limit, so 1-1 coming for Ella Goodnature. Ella Goodnature earns a bonus free throw. Goes 1 for 2 from the line. And we're going to get an offensive foul away from the basketball. It's going to go on the freshman, Kiana McGriff. So another turnover for Roseville. They're approaching 10 turnovers now. .222 to go. Wayzata with the basketball. Marin-Day draws a double team, knocked away. Hawkinson's there. She's left open, and she sticks a three. Hawkinson can get heated up in a hurry as she comes away with the steal. Hawkinson, coast to coast for 2. And Wayzata balloons the lead back up to 6. Under 2 minutes to go, backdoor look, and Lenora DeVries lays it in. Wayzata looking to run after a made bucket once again. Now they'll set up in their half-court set. Hawkinson a paint touch. Back out for Day. She'll penetrate. Nice. Goodnature got a good look. A little too strong, though. Lenora, or that was Salanoa, rather. Off the mark from 3. Harvey. There's a baseball pass from Hawkinson, and Marin-Day gets it to go, plus the foul. And they're going to wave the basket off, however. It might have been a traveling violation. That is not a great call. But nonetheless, Roseville will have it back with the final minute of play here. Trojans by 4. Sundberg picked up her dribble. Back up top for DeVries. Kai Nash back in the ball game. Got the switch on Sundberg, shooting over the top, missed it. Down to Hawkinson. Shot clock is nearly synced up with the game clock. Harvey will drive baseline and get all the way to the rim. Now the shot clock's off. Roseville can hold. Hawkinson ripped it away. A jump ball, and the Trojans will get it back. So Sophie Hawkinson's been all over the place tonight. And gets an extra possession for Wayzata. 9.3 to go in the half. Hawkinson on the drive, head down, and gets the whistle. Two and a half seconds on the game clock as Hawkinson will shoot a pair. Hawkinson all the way up to a dozen points now in this half. Make it a Baker's dozen as she cashes in from the stripe. Still a chance for Roseville at the horn. Sundberg, and that's just off to the right. And we have reached halftime here at Wayzata High School, and it's Wayzata by 8. A little perseverance in the first half. They trailed a few times, but they're up 38-30 at the break. We'll step out and be back in about 8 minutes for the second half. You're watching girls high school basketball here on NSPN. Wayzata 38-30 over Roseville.
You're watching NSPN.TV, the Neighborhood Sports Network.
Up here, it's all about perspective. From the good life to the bad weather, the cities, the townships, the land, the water. It's the state we love to love. It's the state we hate to leave. Fly over? Do so at your own peril, because perspective matters. And if it's happening down there, and over there, or up there, read about it here, and all across here. This isn't Minnesota nice. This is Minnesota news, and we are the Minnesota Star Tribune. We're not a paper, we're a fabric, one that can unite, incense, connect, frustrate, represent, and reflect all of us. It's the faces you may know. It's the voices you may not have heard. It's major, minor, it's urban, rural, it's left, right, and center field, because all the states a stage, and everyone plays their part. We are the Minnesota Star Tribune, the heart and voice of the North.
I've been going to college now for like 4 years, and throughout my time here at McDonald's, I've earned a little over $12 grand in scholarship money from Archways. So
Archways each year gives me $2,500 for my tuition, which is a big deal.
While working at McDonald's, I've learned good time management skills and good communication skills.
after I started working here, I convinced a bunch of my friends to come work here too because I thought the job was so cool.
Back here at the half, Hogan Greenwood and Steve Bonsack alongside. 38-30, Wayzata building up to an 8-point lead at the break after trailing a few times in that first half to Roseville, the number 5 ranked team Trojans in front. With Sophie Hawkinson, a Baker's dozen, 13 in the opening 18 minutes of play. Maddie Sundberg for the Raiders in double figures with 10. Hawkinson's on an extreme heater right now. 3 of her last 4 games have been in the 20s, with that one being 19 points a couple games ago against Maple Grove. So she is absolutely on fire right now and trying to lift Wayzata to a home victory in her non-conference action. Wayzata's schedule coming up will be at the College of St. Benedict's Holiday Tournament against White Bear Lake and number 7 Prior Lake. So a few more non-conference games, including one after the new year on the 2nd of January at Eastridge. before they host number 4 Minnetonka. That should be a great game here at Wayzata High School. But still some big games in the non-conference coming up, including number 7 Prior Lake. The Lakers have been really, really good so far to start the year in the Suburban East, or South Suburban Conference rather. But our halftime score at the moment, 38-30. Trojans in front. Be back in about 3 or 4 minutes for the second half. But for now, we have our MN feature of the week on Pat Bolin. For more, here is Justin Barrientos.
Cotter High School girls basketball head coach Pat Bolin is an institution in southern Minnesota sports, and this season he reached yet another milestone. He became just the 4th coach in Minnesota State High School League girls basketball history to reach the 700-win mark. And we caught up with Coach Bolin when he came here to Providence Academy as the Ramblers played the Providence Academy Lions.
Well, it was a great night. I mean, really, anytime you get a milestone win right now, for me anyway, it's just a reflection on my career. And it's just a lot of great memories, quite honestly. I mean, I remember my first year at St. Bernard's, and first game I coached, we won. I thought we had a pretty good team. We ended up 3-18. So I found out a lot that first year that we needed to get better. And the kids at St. Bernard's really were an important part of my career, my first 8 years. And then came to Cotter in a very similar situation, needing to rebuild a program that was struggling. And we've had a great run. We've been a competitive team every year. We've been in the mix in the Final Four, generally, of our section. I'm really proud of the seasons we've put together. So a great chance to reflect, but most importantly, really a great chance for gratitude. First of all, to my Lord Jesus Christ and to all the people who have helped me along the way. I have so many to thank, and I'm just so appreciative of this journey.
At one point for Cotter, Pat Bolin was the athletic director as well as head football coach, head girls basketball coach, and head softball coach. You can't do that without the full support of your family.
My family is my rock. There was a time when I asked my wife Lori if maybe it was time to give up one of the 3. I was a head coach in 3 sports at the time, and she said, no, the kids love that you're a coach and they love coming with you to games, so it really is part of our family culture. My kids were on the bus rides, they were at the games, they were cheering for the Ramblers, so it really was who we were, quite honestly, as a family.
How have the years changed Pat's outlook on coaching?
When I first started coaching, I think I thought it was all about winning. I always did care about the kids, though. I wanted them to become the best player possible, but as time went on, it became more I wanted to become the best person possible. And I still like to win. I'm a competitive person, but I also look upon the season as improvement. I want our team to really improve, and everyone improves to a degree, but how far can we take this group? There's levels and levels and levels in girls basketball, and we're just trying to move up a level each and every practice, quite honestly, but each and every game to become the best team we can. I love the challenge of taking a group of kids together and making them the best possible team.
With 819 softball wins, the most in Minnesota history, and as of this recording, 700 basketball wins, is there still a goal for Coach Bolin?
Every coach would love to win a state championship, but for me, that's really not what it's about. If we ever get the opportunity, I'd love to play in that game, but most importantly, it's just to enjoy the ride, to have a lot of fun, to be competitive. You know, I'd love to send some of my kids on to play college basketball and softball. I think that's a lot of fun for them to continue the journey. And I also want to make it very family friendly. I want our families to really enjoy our games and the journey as well.
What is the outlook for this year's Rambler team?
I think we're in the top 5 in our section, and last year we did a nice job. We got to the final and got beat soundly. And I think we're back in that same mix. Everybody returned pretty much the same group of kids, so you know, I think we're in the same mix. You know, we definitely have some strengths. We're generally a pretty good shooting team, but we also have some weaknesses. We don't have a lot of physicality. We don't have much height. So we need to scrap and win in different ways than other teams do. But I always think if you get to the Final Four, anything can happen. So I think this team is capable of doing that.
At Providence Academy, Justin Barrientos, NSPN.TV.
Back here at Wayzata High School, Hogan Greenwood alongside Steve Bonsack getting you set for the start of the second half. It'll be the same starting five for both teams. So for Wayzata, it'll be Katie Kelsenberg to start. Did not play a lot of that first half, in foul trouble with 2. Alongside Annika Kieser, Sophie Hawkinson, Allie Burns, and Marin Day. For the Raiders, it'll be Kiana McGriff, Mira Jackson, Analea Salanoa, Elena Marinaro, and Maddie Sundberg. Sundberg, the leading scorer in double figures with 10 for Roseville. Hawkinson leading all scorers with a baker's dozen in the opening 18 minutes of play. It's Wayzata by 8. Possession arrow will be with Roseville to start the second half. The Raiders in the road white, Wayzata in the familiar home blue. And a special shout out to some of the former players for Wayzata girls basketball attending tonight's game. A couple of the players including Grace Weber, who is running track and field at University of Minnesota, and Abby Kraswinski, who is on the basketball team at North Dakota State. So Roseville starts the second half with the basketball. Maddie Sundberg, an early touch. Here's Salanoa. Sundberg picked up her dribble. Over for Mira Jackson. McGriff hits the deck. Kelsenberg got to be careful playing with 2 fouls. Good set here defensively for Wayzata in the half court. McGriff, offensive foul. Using that off arm to chicken wing the defender. And that'll be her second personal. Wayzata gets a stop here to start the half. Good active hands there by Mira Jackson, knocking it away. Arnaro from 3. That's a little bit short. Hawkinson down with the rebound. Running the floor, Kieser. Good control, able to stop in front and lay it in. Wayzata has backed off the full court pressure after Roseville started to break it with ease. They've just ramped up to their half court defense. And now they lead by 10 here to start the second half. Analea Salanoa bouncing it. McGriff. And she turned it over. Lost it in the feet of Marin Day. And Wayzata 2 defensive stops to start. Swing it to Day. Now down low, Kieser. Outside, Hawkinson. That one in and out. Rebound down to Sundberg. Sundberg lost the handle. Mira Jackson is there. Off the crossover, Sundberg tees it up. Off the front of the rim. Rebound taken by Hawkinson. Marin Day stop and pop, a little too strong. Offensive rebound, Kelsenberg, and she gets the whistle. Could not get it to go, but earns a trip to the line. Elena Marinaro picks up the personal, and that's going to be her 3rd. Kelsenberg knocks down a pair, gets the friendly roll on the second, and it's a 4-0 start to for the Trojans in the second half. Up to a 12-point advantage. Sundberg draws a double team, back out for McGriff. Working on Kelsenberg and taken away by Day. Down low to Kieser. Nice look. They try to get it to Hawkinson, and that was deflected out of bounds. Going to get an early sub, just 2.5 minutes in. Good Nature will spell Burns. Burns just getting a talking to behind the Wayzata coaches. Inbound Keyser. Hawkinson will step behind the 3. Probe on the perimeter. Down low to Kelsenberg, and the shot clock ran out. Wayzata did not know it. And the Trojans turn it over. So ball back to the Raiders, looking for their first field goal of the half. Mir Jackson on a handoff. And they're going to get an offensive foul. James Henderson, head coach for Roseville, not happy with the call. He's trying to plead his case on the sideline. At this point, the call cannot be overturned. So it'll be Wayzata basketball. And now we get a moving screen. Wayzata gives it right back. And if it's Kelsenberg, it's going to be her third. And it is. So not a great foul by Katie Kelsenberg. You got to be set when you set those screens. So it amounts to nothing on the turnover for Roseville. Still looking for the first field goal. Mira Jackson's blocked out of play by Hawkinson, and it's last touch by Jackson. Sophie Hawkinson on both ends of the floor playing well tonight. Hasn't been her best night, though, from beyond the arc. She can get hot in a hurry. Feed it. Kelsenberg. Now Marin Day. Got a whistle and a foul on Roseville. Kiana McGriff will pick up the foul. That's going to be the 4th team foul for Roseville. James Henderson wanting to talk things over will step out. Early break here in the second half. 14:35 to go. Wayzata by 12.
Support your teams and community with NSPN.TV. Enjoy exclusive coverage from summer town ball to high school championships. Plus, feature stories and podcasts that bring you closer to the action. Stay connected with NSPN.TV, your neighborhood sports network.
Out of the timeout, Wayzata will inbound underneath. Fresh 20 to work with on the shot clock. Feed it into Marin Day, and she goes right up with it for 2. .6-0 start to the half for the Trojans. They lead by 14. Outside for Salanoa. Left it short on a 3. Wayzata will see it out of bounds, and it's going back to the Trojans. Hawkinson throws it away. Not the best decision from her tonight. Picked up her dribble near half court, tried to connect a pass in the corner. Knocked away by Hawkinson, and she's got a leak out. Hawkinson coasting for 2. Making it up in an instant. Sophie Hawkinson's got 15. Sundberg got a piece of the paint. Outside for Salanoa. She finally gets a 3 to go. First field goal of the second half for the Raiders. And it cuts the deficit back to 13. Good nature. High post touch for Kelsenberg. Skip it. Keyser off the bounce. Back out for Hawkinson. Shot clock to 12. Nice cut. Good nature collects and threw it off the basket. Could not get it to drop. Marinaro down with the board. And here comes Roseville. Sundberg. Offensive foul. Annika Keyser stepping in front to take the charge. Foul's going to go on Maddie Sundberg. 35 team fouls for Roseville in this half. 2 now on Maddie Sundberg. A handful of substitutions for Wayzata as Nash, Burns, and Macbeth return. Back on the floor is number 12, Molly Jackson for Roseville. Here's Macbeth, had a notion for 3, gives off for Hawkinson. Burns a touch, outside Day. Off on a 3, offensive rebound, Mallory Macbeth. A lot of contact, did not get the follow to go, and it's last touch by Roseville. Nash will trigger in for Hawkinson. High screen and roll, but Hawkinson will take and make a 3. 18 points for Sophie Hawkinson. 16-point lead for Wayzata. Salanoa. Hawkinson out there on Jackson. Over for Salanoa. Off on a 3, and Nash down with the rebound, and they're going to reach and foul on Molly Jackson. So now it's 16 fouls for Roseville. With 11:42 to go in the half, Wayzata will be shooting free throws on every subsequent foul on the Raiders, whether it's a 1-and-1 or 2 shots. Marin Day will be spelled here by Lindsay Harvey, who had some very effective minutes off the bench. Here comes a full court pressure from the Raiders. And now they'll back off a little bit as Hawkinson will dribble into the front court. Nearly walked with it. Harvey over for Burns. Burns, runner in the lane, off the glass for 2. Wayzata ballooning the lead up to 18 now. Salanoa a deep 3, and that's short. Has not found her range. Even though she knocked down a 3 in this half. That's the only field goal in this half as a Salanoa 3. Hawkinson gets a round of applause as she exits the game. Replaced by Ellie Howard. Good active hands by Howard. And Nash got caught there in between a pass, and she dragged her pivot foot on a travel. Lenora DeVries returns. Sundberg, a deep range 3. Offensive rebound DeVries, and Harvey got caught reaching in. So an opportunity for second chance points for the Roseville Raiders. Look at a fresh 20 and a trigger underneath. Second team foul for Wayzata in the half. Salanoa, nice roll to the basket by Sundberg. Wayzata collapses, but DeVries is there to put it up and in. Macbeth back out for Howard. Nash. Off the mark there. Harvey reaching in. That's going to be her second foul.
Fouls on the Trojans. Number 10, Lindsay Harvey. That is her second.
Amir Jackson on the drive. Gets inside. Cannot get it to drop, but will go to the free throw line. Lindsay Harvey picks up 3 fouls in the span of about 90 seconds. Just very unlucky there as she will be replaced by Marin Day. Mira Jackson goes 2 for 2 from the stripe. Back to a 14-point ball game with under 10 minutes to play. Nice backdoor look. Nash, extra pass in the corner. Day up top for Burns. Howard looking for a post up from Burns. And a reach-in foul on Roseville will put Allie Burns at the line for a 1-and-1.
Fouls on Roseville's Linda DeVries. That is her. That's her third. Shooting 1-and-1 for the Trojans, Allie Burns.
Lenora DeVries picked up her third. Burns cashes in from the line. Salanoa. Rebound down to Marin Day. Burns. Got it tied up by Molly Jackson. Possession arrow will keep it on this end of the floor. Slip to the basket. Allie Burns got a good look. Got it back. Nash outside for Day. And she drains a three. $19-point lead for the Trojans and an offensive foul.
Fouls on the Raiders. Number 10, Lenora DeVries. That is her fourth.
Fourth foul on DeVries. She will exit as Sundberg comes back in. Nice handoff. Burns had it poked away. Salanoa. Knocked out by Ellie Howard. Trying to tiptoe the sideline. And it'll be back with Roseville. McGriff outside. Salanoa gets it back up top for Sundberg. Jackson outside. Salanoa. A little too strong. Offensive rebound, Molly Jackson. Mira Jackson will set it up and splash in a three.
That's a three for the Raiders. Mirabelle Jackson.
Macbeth on the drive. She took a spill as she missed the shot. Here comes Mira Jackson. Lost the handle momentarily, got it back. 7 minutes to go as Jackson drives, and the whistle. It's going to go on Kaya Nash. 5th team foul for the Trojans. That's the 3rd on Nash. Hawkinson returns along with Kieser and Kelsenberg. Good minutes for Howard and Nash. Sundberg on the drive. It's going to be last off Marin Day. Maddie Sundberg, the leading scorer for Roseville, has yet to tally a point in this half. Over 11 minutes have gone by. Get it into McGriff, and she shuffled her feet. Roseville gives it back to Wayzata. Hawkinson picked up a dribble, got it to Kelsenberg. And it lost it. Molly Jackson able to shovel it for Mira Jackson. Marin Day down behind the play. Marinaro had Hawkinson fly by. Hawkinson knocks it away and steals it. Hawkinson bounced it for Mallory Macbeth, but shuffled her feet. Probably should have shot it. And she's laughing that one off, as the Raiders will have the basketball back with 6:20 to go. 16-point advantage for the Trojans. This game was a back-and-forth first half. Wayzata led by 8 at the break, however, after they created a little bit of separation. There's a big three from Molly Jackson.
That's a three for the Raiders, Molly Jackson.
Roseville not done yet. It's a 13-point ball game. Mallory Macbeth looking to answer, and does. Just a freshman, Mallory Macbeth. Younger sister to Wyatt Macbeth. And she intercepts it on the baseline. Marin Day gets a piece of the paint. Backdoor look, and Mallory Macbeth got a little too excited. Found herself wide open, but couldn't handle the basketball.
Number 10, Lindsay Harvey. She replaces Katie Kelsenberg.
Harvey back on the floor. Sundberg working on Day. Got it blocked. Kieser to Macbeth. Hawkinson running the floor. Great find in transition, and Hawkinson has 20 points again. Make it 4 out of her last 5 games with 20-plus points. McGriff spinning and gets the whistle. And it's going to be on Lindsay Harvey, who's picked up her 4th now. Kiana McGriff will be at the line for 2. We mentioned it early on in the year, the first few home games. But with the absence of Kate Amelot, who had an outstanding sophomore campaign, tore ACL in the soccer season, missing her junior year, allowed Hawkinson to take a big leap as Roseville reins in a 3. Hawkinson has had to take most of the load this year, and she's been delivering in the last 4 or 5 games, scoring 20-plus points. A career high 27 in the win against St. Paul Como Park. Hawkinson missed it in tight there. Rebound down to McGriff and a loose ball foul on Keyser. Just a bummer for Amelot, who in this game last year scored 16 points, was a big-time factor all season long. But the good news for Amelot is that she'll have a chance to return in her senior season. One and one for McGriff. She misses the front end. Gonna get a reach-in foul out top. It'll put Kaya Nash at the line. 4th foul on Kiana McGriff, who's had an outstanding freshman campaign through the first 9 games, averaging 11 points, 7.5 rebounds. Kaya Nash, how about her in her first year on varsity as a sophomore? Very impactful off the bench this year for Julie Stewart. Rebound taken by McGriff, and it's last touch by Marin Day. 4:09 to go. It's Wayzata 62, Roseville 47. High post McGriff, good ball fake, and goes off to the right hand off the glass. Nash kick it outside, Day spots it up, and sticks a 3. Marin Day's in the double figures now with 12. Hawkinson went for the steal. Mira Jackson will pull up off the front of the iron. Rebound taken by Burns. We're going to get a tie-up, and the arrow points in Roseville's direction. So they'll get a fresh 20 to work with 3:12 to go. Wayzata looking for their 5th straight win against the Raiders. Last win for Roseville came back in the 2013-14 season. Trojans had to eke out a 2-point win last year, 58-56. And this game, as we mentioned, was very close in that first half. Wayzata has really created some separation. And off the inbound, Sundberg will go to the line. Chance to add to her total, but she hadn't scored in this second half. Until now. Needed Sundberg to have a big game. Was off to a solid start. Goes 2 for 2 from the line there. Back to a 14-point game. 12 on the night for Sundberg. Not often you see double foul in high school basketball. It's going to go on Kiana McGriff. That'll foul her out of the game. And then Allie Burns picked it up for Wayzata. So Burns will pick up her second. So the double foul actually benefits the Trojans with only 3 minutes to go. And it should be Wayzata basketball. And it will be on an inbound to the sideline. To further the point for Hawkinson while we have a chance, it's been an outstanding year for her. She returned to the soccer pitch, won a state championship with her younger sister. After not playing soccer in her junior season, focusing on basketball, she committed to North Dakota State. She'll play next year as a freshman. She surpassed 1,000 career points this year, and she continues to have a major impact on this Wayzata program. Burns got a good look, could not hit. Here's Roseville with Molly Jackson. Outside for Sunberg, quick trigger, off the front of the rim. Salanoa, second chance for Jackson, and she cashes in. Molly Jackson, very impactful minutes off the bench. And Julie Stewart called a timeout before Wayzata threw it away. James Henderson, head coach for Roseville, trying to plead his case. It'll be a timeout for the Trojans, leading 65-54. Sorry. So while we have a moment, we can look ahead to the schedules. Talked about who Wayzata has coming up with White Bear Lake and Prior Lake in the St. Benedict's Holiday Tournament. For Roseville, they have Creighton-Durham Hall, Stillwater, and Matamidi, all after the New Year. This is their final game before the Christmas and New Year break. Back in action for 3 more road games. This was their first of 4 road games. They'll play Creighton-Durham Hall, Stillwater, and Matamidi going forward. Hawkins in a skip pass. She'll come to get it. Shot clock down to 10. DeVries on Hawkinson. Hawkinson looking to create, and Lenora DeVries is going to pick up a nickel dimer here as the shot clock is at 5. And she will foul out of the basketball game with 1:56 to go. And that'll put Hawkinson at the free throw line. Two for 2 from the line for Sophie Hawkinson. She's up to 22 points. Boy, Roseville's had a tough time. They've been called for multiple moving screens there on a dribble handoff. Mira Jackson picks up her 4th. It's been one of those nights for Roseville after they started out strong on the road. Led for some of that first half. Keyser had it knocked away. Could have been over and back. However, they're going to get a foul on the Raiders. It's going to be on Elena Marinaro. And more free throws for the Trojans. Double bonus for Annika Keyser. Keyser goes 2 for 2 from the stripe, 69-54, with 1:15 to go. Sundberg. That's her first field goal of the second half. Just 4 points in the second half for Sundberg as we enter the final minute. Wayzata playing keep away. Roseville looking for a steal, not going to foul, at least for now. Shot clock down to 12. Keyser comes to get it. Now Hawkinson, shot clock down to 6. Hawkinson knifing in. Keyser spots up and knocks it down. 14 points for Annika Keyser. She's got a new season high. Jackson spinning in, blocked by Hawkinson. And Wayzata can dribble out the clock. The Trojans are going to pick up a home win. 72-56, the final score. A strong performance from Wayzata in the second half. They led 38-30 at the break, and they hold the Raiders to 26 second half points, and they win it by 16. Another 20-point game for Sophie Hawkinson. That's 4 of the last 5 games for her. And 14 points, a new season high for Annika Keyser on that last triple. And Wayzata improves to 6-2 on the season. Next up for them, the College of St. Benedict Holiday Tournament against White Bear Lake, and then number 7 Prior Lake, the 27th and 28th. That'll be 2 big games in the non-conference. For Roseville, they fall to 5-5, and their next game is at Creighton-Durham Hall on January 7th. Well, that'll wrap things up here from Wayzata High School. Trojans victorious by 16 here tonight. For our entire crew, Steve Bonsack, Hogan Greenwood saying thank you for joining us, and so long from Plymouth, Minnesota. Happy holidays, everyone. We'll see you after the new year.